Initialize sequence.
Yo, this Blaze, you there, homie.
This is Jamie Match Rock.
This be the one them called Tech 9. Yo, what up? This is Shag's Too Dope from Insane Clown Posse. This is the genius, Chris Calico.
What up? It's G-Mo Ski. This is Ritz, White Jesus.
It's the Kid Mercury. This is Slain.
Dragon Eyes, Necro, Project Born, Mad Child,
Your boy Jerry
Vinted. Welcome to the Underground, Australia's home of rap, metal, and alternative music.
What is up and welcome to the Underground. It is Ned, joined by longtime homie, the one, the only Politicize Rise. Politicize, what is up, man?
What's up, Ned?
Ned, I'm very excited to talk to you.
We've been talking to each other for at least 4 to 5 years making music. I remember I introduced myself to you and it just went from there, man. You know, when you make a good relationship with someone, sometimes you don't even remember how it starts. When you make a bad relationship with someone, somehow you remember that immediately, right?
That's very true right there. And one of my favorite things about you, Politicize, I'm pretty sure it's still current, is you're there sporting your Underground t-shirt in one of your profile pics. I think you're with Twisted in it. And I just think that is super cool, man.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I got to order a new one. Order a new one because maybe I don't wash my clothes enough, but I can't find that damn shirt. And I love that color. I love the logo. It's so fresh.
Ah, man, I like that, man. And speaking of fresh things, that brand new album, Riot, it's just about to be released. It's dropping August 1st now. That's right, yeah?
So close around the corner. August 1st is just out. You know, no pre-order. And, I'll probably have it on Spotify on the same date, hopefully. That way, push Spotify at the same time as the album. And there might be some people that are reluctant to get the album because they're like, hey, I kind of want to listen to a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even though I did put out like mad samplers, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because, hey, I might do the same thing. I want to hear it first, So hopefully when it comes out August 1st, start pushing it on Spotify. We'll see if it bumps up a little bit.
Man, I'm excited for this one though, Politicize. You've really stepped it up. That's the thing about you from the time I sort of got to know you. You've always been sort of stepping it up as far as collaborations goes. Your sound just gets better and better. See the dope background in the background there of you and Shaggy, Too Dope, and of course everyone talking about this one in the Underground at the moment. How the hell did you manage to land Shags on a track there?
I swear, like, people always tell me this. And it's like one of those things that is the truth, but you just say, okay, well, that's not that easy. But it's always who you know, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's who you know. And luckily for me, I knew somebody that was behind the scenes in Detroit that was, that's close to him. And, he set it up for me. And he was like, okay, but you're going to have to come down to Detroit to record with him. And I'm like, as if that's a bad thing. I'll drive my happy ass 7 hours to be in Detroit to do this thing because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and something I'll never forget regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about it, I guess, in this day and age, Politicize, is a lot of these sort of collabs and whatnot are just being sent from email to email, but you actually went down there and chopped it up with him in the studio, right? Can you tell us about this time?
There's some artists that who they present as themselves on the screen is different than who they are in real life. And that might not be a bad thing sometimes, but in Shaggy's case, it was so refreshing to see that this dude is just like he is in interviews. He's just like he is in videos. He is that same guy. He carries that same energy everywhere he goes. And it was a blast being around that energy. I remember definitely feeling nervous. I don't think anybody who's a juggalo, who loves this underground music and wicked shit would not be. But I remember one thing that both Shaggy and Violent J said. I think it was Shaggy said, if you see me somewhere, just say, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Whoop, whoop, that's enough. Don't be a mark. So yeah. I had that in my head. I was like, okay. I'm not going to show him I'm nervous as shit, and I'm not going to show him that I'm like, giggity, getting excited. But so, I played my composure and I kept myself cool. And by the time we were done recording and the day was over, he actually told me this personally. Shaggy was like, most people that I meet that do music with, they don't know how to act around me. You know, they act silly, they act goofy, or they try to act like something they're not. And he told me straight up, he's like, you know, I can see that you're just being you, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really am. And I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous as hell to meet you. And one of the coolest things that I was able to do was I pulled out the CD that I had him sign back in the day.
Yeah.
It was an Amazing Jekyll Brothers CD. And so he wrote my name, he misspelled it. And when I was like 17 and I saw he misspelled it on the spot, I was like, hey, Shaggy, you spelled my name wrong. So he takes the incorrect letter at the end and just puts a D at the end over it. You know? So I showed that to him. I was like, hey, man, I met you guys at the Amazing Jekyll Brothers in-store and you misspelled my name. I told you the right thing. You put it over there. It's something I never forgot, man. And I had that moment with him, and it's kind of a priceless moment, you know?
Yeah, that's fantastic right there, and shows sort of how long you've sort of been down with them too. The Amazing Jekyll Brothers, what was that, 1999? So that is awesome.
Comparatively now it is, right? Because now there's juggalos that get into ICP off of the new Joker's cards.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like I got into it during Malenko, and like, obviously there's tons of juggalos that got into it before me, but I'm surprised how many people have gotten into it after me now as well, you know?
Yeah, well, it's a different generation and whatnot now too. So are they like a big reason why you got into rapping there, Politicize?
I think that became a huge reason at a certain point in time, because it's like the influence that they had over me was so powerful that it made me go backwards. So I'm like, okay, now I know who ICP is, but who is this Isham guy? Yeah. Oh shit, Isham's the guy that gave him the inspiration to do it. So I keep going back, and I found through ICP, I found a whole world of music, you know?
Yeah, 100%. No, I think they have opened the gateway for many people, sort of thing. That sounds very similar to me, really. You sort of discover ICP, then Isham, and you've got Cottonmouth Kings, and it just sort of flows through. A lot of them are sort of falling off now, but they sort of seem to be hanging on, I guess, man, like still going strong.
I think they're still going strong. I think, you know, they're about like 50 years old almost now, right now.
Crazy. Yeah, they'd be pushing it.
And even Twisted's about the same age, right? They're approaching 50.
Well, that'd be around about the same age, I think. Yeah, late 40s.
Yeah, so I mean, it's amazing how much they've done in their career, but it's like, I'm not, even if they stop making music and they only do shows, it wouldn't make me sad, because give them a break is how I feel. These guys have busted their ass for over 20 years to give you some inspiration, give you good music, give you something to hold on to. And it's like, even if they don't continue on, hopefully Juggalos will continue on their legacy.
Yeah,
you know?
that's 100%. I think you said it very well right there, man. Well, tell us about the video. I want to hear about this one, the We Do It video. Like Shags popped up on the animated side of things, which I think is very cool. Was that your idea there? I can see it in the background. We played it on the underground. It's got a lot of love. It's cool.
It was a really fun video to do, and it was something that I thought of kind of on the spot, you know? Because when I did the song with him, I was kind of hoping that we would get a chance to do the video, but, you know, it didn't pan out that way, and I fully understand. The man is busy as hell, you know? So I figured, you know, I've seen a couple of people do not interviews, but songs with Shaggy. I think about like three that I know of. And I'm not saying those songs are bad. I'm not saying those artists are bad, but I don't think they knew what they had in their hand. Yeah. You know, like if you like, it's kind of like serving a sirloin steak on a plastic plate. Yeah. You know, it's like, damn, you got this amazing steak and the plate is about to fall apart. So I figured if I want to have Shaggy in a track, I got to do it right. I got to make it so that if he looks at it, it's something he'll be like, man, that was pretty cool. You know, so when I wanted to do the video, I was like, lyric videos out of the way. It's going to be boring. Let's try animation. And anybody that knows anything about animation, like if you went to art school or anything, you know that animation is hella costly. You know, it's just to do a single episode of a show could be like $20,000, really. Jeez. But so it's like, okay, I'm working on a budget here. I don't have that much. What can I do? What can I do to make this cool? And, you know, I had a guy called Dirty Grim who did the animation, talented guy. He's doing animation for a bunch of shows, some stuff that's been on Hulu and things like that. So, we went back and forth for a good 2 months getting this done. And then once it was done, it was just like, gotta put a animated video out, because I've seen recently there's been a trend in people trying to do animated videos with ICP stuff. Like the UGH guys did like a dummy video, and other people did some claymation. But I felt like this was a next step up. Let's make a video with a Dark Carnival. It's about the Dark Carnival. Let's put things in there that you can reference, and it was just a lot of fun, man. It was a great time making this video.
Oh, hell yeah, man. And it very much speaks for itself. We'll pop that one back up on the website because it is all about Riot. It's about to sort of drop again. Tell us more about this album. You got some other great artists on there as well. It's not just Shags too, dope. It's a bit of you got some great ones on there, man.
Yeah, managed to get some very cool guests on here. The second best, I'm not going to say second best. Let's not even talk like that. But the second artist that I felt that was very important on there was definitely Blind Fury. That was just a spur of the moment thing, because I remember there was that Gathering in the Matrix thing. They had a battle rap thing going. I did the damn thing. I viciously went in there and ate through my opponent. I'm talking like Mike Tyson in 1991 right now. Sort of.
I ate through my opponent.
Boy, my opponent did. I ate his children.
I like it, man.
But yeah, because of that, I won that verse from Blind Fury, and I was like, wow, this is cool, man. Let's make the best of this as well. We got Scum, reached out to Scum, and Scum is one of the nicest guy in the scene.
I know, man. You do not expect it because he's got that, that sort of feeling around him, like Scum, like this dark, gory sort of guy. But he's just such a good dude. Like it blew me away.
War hop, he's lyrical stuff. He talks, and they say horror beyond, I think, what Psychopathic kind of does. I think they bump the horror up a level as far as what they say. But then again, never judge a book by its cover, because
exactly.
Jason Porter probably says stuff sicker than anybody I've heard. Sicker than anybody I don't care who you are. I haven't heard somebody say sick shit like him. Like maybe one artist, but and Jason, not to reveal his identity or anything like that, but he's an awesome dude in real life.
Yeah.
He is not someone you cannot talk to. He's not someone you can't relate to. I say it like me, like if you can't get along with me, I don't think it's me. I think it's you, because I really am a pretty nice person. And Jason's kind of the same way. If you can't get along with Jason, well, you probably made a bad business move, or you're just not a nice guy, one or the other. So when, coming up with Scum, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the right move. And because Scum is also kind of like, he's not your norm, as far as he has an open background as far as where he comes from, and interracial marriage. So he's kind of an understanding guy, So I decided, I was like, hey, Scum, how do you feel about doing a song called Kill Karen? And he's like, oh, I'm with it. Like, I like that, like, hey, if you're going to kill somebody on a track, make sure they deserve to die. And then we, got Kung Fu Vampire on there as well. And hopefully I'm really waiting on Kung Fu, because he's supposed to be having a remix album out here, and I remixed one of his songs for him, and I'm waiting for him to get the album out so I can buy it and see that credit, like produced by Politicize on there, But that was the process of linking up with him. And the whole album, Riot, is funny because I made the name of the album pre-pandemic, pre-riots. So I didn't watch the news and say, hey, there's riots going on, let me name it that. It was actually something I thought of a year and a half ago, There
you go.
Had nothing to do with the current. And the fact that it met up with the current situation and all the things that were happening, especially in the US, is just coincidental.
Yeah.
But, it was in no way, shape trying to be political, like, yeah, let's riot. I just like the concept and idea, Basically, it's from the Joker movie. It's not even from real life. It's from the last scene of the Joker movie where they're all rioting,
Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, there's a great insight right there. But I was going to talk to you about the pandemic because I was sort of thinking, yeah, it's got to be something to do with that and all the craziness that's going on in America at the moment. How is it in your part of the world right now?
I mean, it's okay, you know. It's just it's funny, and it's just the best way to describe it is sad, because you see a country of wealth, and then you see how people act when the chips are down. You know, like when the chips are down, you get to see who people really are, even in your relationships, in life, and in general. And once the chips were down, people were hoarding gas and, you know, doing all these kind of things and rioting. And it's like, you know, empires fall when the conflict is inside. You know, when people are fighting each other, people can't get along, you have a reason not to like your neighbor, that's when things start going downhill. And I think what the pandemic showed the world, and especially the US, is we're not the big tough guy we thought we were. We're not that guy anymore. There are other countries that are powerful that we don't want to even touch or mess with. So I think, if anything, it should have been a humbling experience for people, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's very well said there, Politicize. Very well said. It has been a crazy time for everyone, man. But let's switch things up onto a more sort of lighthearted side of things. You wanted to discuss a little bit of MMA and boxing and that sort of thing.
Ooh.
And I have seen. I'm not huge into that side of things, but you yourself get into MMA, and do you box? Is that right? Like not just watching it, but actually get amongst it.
Yeah, I actually did it for I think it was about 5 or 7 years straight. I would go to the gym and I really dedicating myself, and then somewhere along the line I fell off, and then I got back into it. But at this point it's like, you know, I still box. I go downstairs, I do drills. I'll sometimes I will go to the gym and spar with people and things like that. I just love it. I don't love the aspect of the sport that's like all money and all that bullshit, but I love the form of it, because it feels to me like if you have very good hands as a boxer, and if you started doing kickboxing after that, I mean, you're probably like 90% of a beast. All you need then is to know how to do an arm lock or something, you know. But boxing, fundamentally, I don't think there's another, you know, sort of fighting technique that has better hands. There's nothing compared to boxing. You know, you can try any martial arts, and no martial arts will have better hands than boxing. I think it's just a matter of respect. You know, I just respect it a lot.
Yeah, that's cool right there. So did you actually do any competitive boxing, or was it all just sort of for fun?
I know competitive boxing, I mean, sparring sessions sometimes can get difficult, especially when you're sparring with some guys that are bigger than you and taller. You know, I've sparred with people that are like 6'3", 200 pounds. And mind you, I'm like 5'9", 150. You know, it's like, you know, at that point, it's like you got to think about how you're going to land your shots in this guy, because he's stronger than you. You don't have that. I have speed over him, but I got to use my brain. So, you know, with sparring, you got to use your brain. And I remember one time in sparring, this is a fun moment for me. You know, guys real tall. So I set it up by going for the jab. Then I go for the body. And then once he's kind of clenched like this towards his body because he got hit, overhand right to the head.
Oh, damn.
So I landed that on my one sparring partner, and he looked at me. He's like, where'd you get that shit, man? What? I was like, what did you expect? You're like 2 times my size. You don't think I'm going to come back using my brain?
Oh, you got it right there, man. I love it.
But yeah, even MMA is great too. I was getting excited. You know, boxing, the great thing about boxing and MMA is like great fighters come from everywhere. It's about the fighters. It's not about where they're from. It's not about that stuff. It's about the fighter. It's about what they're doing in the ring. And, you know, even boxing, I started getting excited about Costa Tszyu, his son, Tim Tszyu. Yeah. He's an Australian boxer. I mean, his father's a legend. Because I remember when his father knocked Zab Judah silly in the ring. But his son is also a boxer. His son's doing great. Really nice, humble guy. And that's the kind of fighters I like. So if I see a humble fighter that's really good in the ring, but he very nice person, I support you 100%.
Yeah.
You define what a gladiator is to me. You know,
that is super cool right there, man. It comes down to every walk in life, I think, not just boxing, but just in person, general sort of thing. Like whether you're a beast on the court, but then you're cool like off it. Sort of basketball is my thing. But yeah, I 100% agree with you there, man. And you and I are very much cut from the same cloth, Politicize, because you're into the sort of conspiracy theory side of things. So you're into the stories and stuff. You're like, I want to chop it up. I want to talk a little bit about this. So what's the sort of most out there conspiracy theory you've heard at the minute?
Well, when it comes, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on with the pandemic. There was a lot of theories and everything. And it's just like, the saddest thing about it is the actual word conspiracy theory, because from what I know, the word came after people were trying to figure out what happened to JFK, what happened to John F. Kennedy. So they were trying to figure out, hey, what happened? I don't know if the story lines up. And every time someone would speak up against it, they would call it conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's sad to say, but like when you say, when in general, when we say conspiracy theory, it's actually true. And when you say something is true, sometimes it's false, you know?
Yeah.
But the biggest conspiracies were like, where did the virus come from? That was a big one.
Well, I was just going to say, Politicize, on the subject of the virus, the big one going around here at the moment, which is absolutely insane, is that it's not even real. It's like, it's just people getting colds and whatnot. Like there was people sort of marching and protesting on that, which is just insanity, because I work in a hospital myself, and bam, I'm not going into those rooms that are, meant to be COVID, whatever, just walk in there. Sort of like, it's insane.
How is it in Australia as far as the numbers? Are they like, because nobody talks about that anymore. Do you kind of see that pattern, how nobody talks about numbers of deaths and all that anymore?
It's a little bit different here. I think we're a little bit behind you guys because your vaccine rollouts have happened, sort of thing. Here, we've been behind on the vaccine rollouts. The numbers are probably minute compared to what you've got, but at the moment,
the numbers in the US are like shamefully bad. They were,
It's like, it is the end of the world here. Like if the state that I'm in, I think there were 16 active cases today, and like that's a bad thing. So you know what I mean? Like it's like only 16, whereas you hear over there, it's like
1,600.
You know what I mean? So like it's very bizarre and different in that case. But at the moment, as we speak, we're in lockdown. We can't do anything. Yeah.
Wow. See, you don't get to hear this stuff anymore. You don't get to hear what's happening with the rest of the world with this virus. And that comes back to ethnocentrism. Like, we just think that whatever's happening, if the virus is okay here, then okay, who cares about the rest of the world?
Yeah.
Guess what? The rest of the world actually was on top of it before we were, it's sad, but it's true. You got to be honest about it. But, I heard conspiracies like the virus came from China, and some of that makes sense because they have something called a BSL lab, and BSL labs are basically places where they create viruses, chemical weapons, and they have BSL labs all over the US. I think they got like 50. Do we know an address for a single one of them?
No, there you go.
And the BSL lab in China, which is in Wuhan, that is where the virus came from, because the market is right there where people got infected. That's the same lab that they made SARS in.
Wow.
So, it's crazy. I think it might be wrong to profile people, but I don't think it's wrong to say where something came from. And I'm not saying that, and who knows, maybe the US government was in collaboration with the Chinese government when they made it. I don't know that at all. All I'm saying is that seems to be the center of where things came from,
Exactly. And sort of like, I'm not sort of touched up on this at the moment, but the thing here is what we were hearing with the Chinese side of thing is that they wanted people to get this so our economy would break down and then they could buy everything. That was one of the things happening out here. So, which is true, man, because so many businesses and whatnot are down, and then a lot of the Chinese government and whatever are buying the places. another conspiracy happening out here. So
You know what? But you're right. That's not a conspiracy because that's true.
yeah, it's actually happening.
They are buying land. I mean, this is not the first time I've heard of it. I've heard that they're buying land in Africa. I heard that they have factories in Africa where they don't even employ Africans. So it's like, and they're also pushing into the South Asian area near Pakistan and everything, and they're kind of a bully, and their human rights record is terrible.
Yeah.
Once again, if somebody has a problem with me saying that, go fuck yourself. That's the truth. I'm sorry, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, their human rights records are terrible. They continue to have human rights abuses. But in this world that we live in, man, money talks.
Oh, it most definitely does, man. It's interesting. We're back on. We just lost it. If the Chinese government's just heard us talking about.
Damn you, China! No.
That has never happened in all of my interviews. Politicize and I have just had a recording stopped on that, buddy.
Ned, when you title this thing, you should be like, strangely cut off. Possible spies and espionage. All right, I think that's
never see the light.
Something else, right?
I'm sorry. Keep going, my man.
But yeah, there's tons of conspiracies that come out. There's some you have to search for. Others are kind of out there. Like, here's a weird one that I just learned, and it really messed with my head. So everybody has this idea that Mother Teresa was this great woman, right? She's a wonderful person. She gave her life for people. Next thing I know, I'm reading how Mother Teresa ran a child prostitution ring.
What? I haven't heard that one yet.
I've read that multiple places too. That's the scary thing.
And that's what I had to look into, because that is out there. Because when you comment over here, it's like, oh, she's like Mother Teresa.
Yeah,
yeah. A compliment now, man.
Oh my God, but what do you call it? It's become a way of expressing something. I don't know what there's a word for that, but like, to think that somebody who was so well loved throughout history may actually be a disgusting demon.
I know, man.
God damn, dude.
That's it. I have not heard that one. I'm gonna have to I'm looking into that today after this interview, Politicize. But man, I don't want this to cut out. I don't want the Chinese government to take this one down. So there's one other piece of fun material I want to talk about with you before we run out of time. And that is ghost stories, my friend. I think me and you, we need to carve things up a little bit more often, because you're into conspiracy theories.
Hell yeah.
You're into ghost stories, and man, you love to rap. It's like my sort of person.
I want to hear one from you, though, Ned. I want to hear a ghost story from you.
Don't know. You kick it off. Have you got one? I've got some ghost stories.
I could kick it off with something light. Okay, so two light things. One, I'm driving around the city one day later at night, and I see somebody who looked like one of my friends who passed away. So I watch this person walking down the street, and there's something about this person's walk and his stature. So I'm like, I'm tripping. What am I talking about? So for some reason, I came back around to see again. I came back around, same street, and no one was there.
Damn.
No one was there. I looked in the parking lot. I was like,
maybe, that seems pretty legit to me right there, man. It's like you've got.
It's pretty weird. But if that's my friend's ghost, all I gotta ask him is, motherfucker, what are you doing hanging out here? Don't you got better places to be? I don't mean to make light of my own shit, but like weird experiences like that, and I've had a lot stronger ones. But yeah, time for Ned Tepper. Let's see what Mr. Tepper has.
I've got some good ones here. It's not for me personally, but I grew up on a farm, which is this farm, man, it's a spooky looking thing. I'm going to send you a photo of this, man. Like, next time I'm out there, I'll take a photo. I'll send it to you. Anyway, my dad was sleeping in a room up in the house there, and I'll make it real quick. He kept getting woken up by a swinging door that was next to the bed. So it's swinging, kept getting waken up. And then by the end of it, he's just like, oh, I'm over this. I'm getting up. I'm shutting this damn door because, like, you know, when you're in and out of sleep, you're like you don't have enough energy to get up. He was that tired. He said, anyway, he gets up, he turns on the light, and the door is full latched shut. Boom. Like, latch is shut. No way it could have been open. And he's just heard it swinging. So, man, I don't know if I sold that well. But yeah, that thing was latched over, and
that happened more than once.
Yeah, he said he kept waking up by this door opening, and yeah, it was shut the whole entire time. Dun, 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 dun.
So before that happened, was your dad somebody that believed in this kind of thing, or was he somebody that?
Like, he's just an old farmer guy. I think he does. We've never really overly spoken about it, sort of thing. But it's, you know, like, I mean, you're in a city, right? You're like surrounded by a lot of people. I come from the middle of nowhere, man. Like, I'm like, the closest town we were to was like, you know, there's like 100, 200 people. Like, it's
oh,
you know,
wow.
It's like full on. You and I couldn't be sort of any further away from each other and live at any different times. But yeah, this is like full on, you know, house on haunted hill style sort of house growing up. And my uncle said when he was out there, he'd see people walking around in the gardens and stuff. And of course, there was no one out there technically. It's over 100 years old. And so when you said to me, man, I want to talk ghost stories, I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like, I grew up amongst that, and it still gives me the creeps to this day, that place, and they still live in it. So there you go.
Unbelievable. So it must not be like a negative presence if your family is still there, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything like Off the Conjuring or anything like that. If it is, you know, they're oblivious to it.
Let me ask you now, do you think, because I've asked this question to people and I kind of believe it myself, but do you think that if you're a person that has like a strong will, strong character, do you think that it's harder for a ghost to possess you or appear in front of you? Do you think there's any correlation between the two?
That's an interesting question. I don't think about appearing in front of you. I don't think that matters about your will, but definitely you would have to assume to possess you. I reckon if you're, you know, you're down in the dumps sort of thing, like you're struggling with life and that sort of thing, they're going to be more likely to jump on board, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Right,
like, right. Use yourself as an example there, man. You possibly saw one of your friends and, like, you know, I think they can sort of pop up at any time in that sense, like seeing, but yeah.
Right. Like it's almost like they have the door open to you, but you don't have the door open to them.
Exactly. Like those negative people that, you know, they just turn a blind eye to the whole thing. I think they're less likely to, you know, and even if they do see something or something happens, there's always a logical explanation with it. Like with my dad.
Yeah. There's always a logical explanation for everything.
Oh, he was asleep the whole time. He was just dreaming that the door was swinging open, but yeah.
Oh yeah. It's all figment of our imaginations, you know, nothing beyond the flesh exists, right?
Yeah. Like, you know, like there's always, you know, been those sort of people that will just write everything off, but I 100% I believe in all that sort of stuff, like definitely conspiracy theories, ghosts, all that sort of thing. My buddy John and I actually started a show on this, man. Love this kind of thing.
Oh, well, do you guys have it on YouTube?
Oh man, it was last year and we were going through all the unsolved mysteries cases and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's on SoundCloud and whatnot. We only got a couple of episodes in, and then, you know, things happen.
That would be awesome if you guys came back to do a couple more episodes or continue to do it.
Man, we could get you on as a special guest. I'll talk to you.
I would love to. I would love to talk about this stuff. I'll do my research on stuff beforehand and we'll have a good ghostly conversation. But I can tell you the strongest experience I've had, and this was kind of, there's no explanation for this. I see none. I was going to my brother's wedding, and he was getting married in Utah, and Utah is kind of a weird place. You know, it's the head of the Mormon church, and people are weird. Like, they'll smile, but you feel like the smile is off. It feels like a horror movie smile. Like, you feel like, so I'm already feeling a little bit of off energy. Nothing negative. It's not like people are violent or assholes. It's just a little
just a little off. Yeah.
A little off. I could sense that. But so here I am at night. You know, I can't even remember what time it is, but I'm sleeping, and I start to, I don't know if it's in between dream or sleep, but I feel and I see this black mist coming towards me.
Damn.
And I'm on my right-hand side, sleeping like this.
Yep.
And so the mist is there. The mist comes a little closer. I turn from one side and I start to say, and mind you, I don't know why I said this. So I turn around and I say, Allahu Akbar, which means God is great.
Oh,
okay. So I turn around one time and I say that. And the mist that was ever so close to me moved back 1 inch. I turn around again. I wake up. I say it again. The mist moves back. By the time I'm on the back and I get up and I say it very loud, the mist is gone.
Damn, man, that is one of the creepiest things. I got the old hairs in the back of the neck standing up.
I mean, it's very strange because here's the thing. There's different ways to look at it because, whenever you see like a show that has stuff with ghosts, people do sage. They will make a prayer. Usually it'll be like a Christian prayer, pray to Jesus, or whatever it is, and that's the common link right there. Why does the name of, it's almost as if the name of God pushes an evil spirit away. Now you can say the name of God in any language you want, but my experience just proved that if you're, and why did I say that? I didn't have the idea. I was in the middle of my sleep. What instinctively made me think of God to speak his name in front of this evil presence in front of me?
Damn. And so... what a way to wrap, man. That one is I don't have an answer. I do not know.
I don't have an answer either, but I'm okay with not having an answer. I know there's a lot of people that want answers for everything. Like, I'm the type of person that wants answers to mysteries, to conspiracy. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm okay with not having an answer because I know that there's something beyond the flesh. There's something beyond us. And whatever it is, it's out there, and it's not my job to know the exact truth of it because nobody else has yet. So how am I going to do it?
Yeah.
But all I can say is that, I, because of my experiences like you and because of your experiences, we do believe in it because it's not something far-fetched. It was right in front of us.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's there not to believe,
Exactly. Well, that, man, what a way to almost wrap things up. We need to get it, like we were saying, we need to get back together and talk about more on this sort of stuff, Politicize. What I wanted to know, is there anything else that we need to talk about before you go on the changing back to what is now full ghost story mode? But yeah,
right.
Remote Riot.
Get back to the right. So do have some cool news. I will be at the gathering, and I won't just be there shopping my ass off. I'm actually going to be performing. It's kind of an official performance. There's a guy that's setting up the performance on the main stage in the second night after the main acts are done. The other notable artist that's doing it with me is Wickedwood.
Excellent.
So it will be fun, man. Performing at the gathering, regardless of whether it's official or not. I'm gonna drive down there with my buddy, have a good time, get high as hell, and perform, and have a backpack of CDs and do my thing. Well,
that sounds like a whole bunch of fun there. I did have a note here. Gathering news, yes/no. Wasn't sure. I forgot to ask you before this. You said it might be happening. It might not.
I you know what? I knew it was happening, but I was waiting for the guy to put the flyer on Facebook. So it's like, I was like 75% sure, but I swear the older I get and the more mature I get, one thing I know is never let out the good news until it's confirmed.
That right there is with every, I would not advertise that this interview is happening until it's done, because things over the past 10, 15 years of doing these interviews, they just don't happen half the time. And I did one the other day and it didn't record. It was like, wow, man. So yes,
I have to say to those people watching the Underground Australia and did not come for your interview, shame on you. Okay. If you are a child, I'll put you over my leg and go right in your butt. Shame on you. You're missing out on one of the coolest underground podcasts out there, man. Come on.
How about that? Thank you so much for those kind words, my man. So you got the gathering coming up. Riot's out August the 1st. I've got my pre-order. Can people still pick up those really cool t-shirts and such now on your website, Politicize Rise?
Yep, I got the t-shirts, I got posters, t-shirts, stickers, everything, man. And actually, I want to show an album on here while I'm here because I put a lot of work into it and it looks really nice. Let me grab this.
Excellent.
So guys, this is what it looks like. You're gonna get a CD. It looks like you went to Best Buy when they used to have them.
Damn, that's exactly
It's got the plastic on it. It's got the sticker feature on it. It's got great artwork. I didn't bullshit. I made sure that I, got a good product out for everybody. So, if you want to watch the video, go watch We Do It on YouTube. Politicize featuring Shaggy 2 Dope. If you want to grab a pre-order copy of the album, or if you want to get it when it comes out, go to politicize.bigcartel.com. And if you're at the gathering and you got a shirt, please wear that shit so I can smoke a blunt with you and take a picture.
Oh yeah. I wish I could be there, but unfortunately, due to COVID, I'm not sure I'll ever get to the States again. So this is the closest what I'll get politicized, man. But I cannot thank you enough. Very much looking forward to hearing Riot. Love chopping it up with you, man. Talking. What a fun interview you had, man. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, Ned, listen, I would love to do the ghost stuff with you, man. Let me know what's going on. I'll do the best I can. Even if you guys need someone to edit the video up, send it over, man.
Man. Too kind of you, man. No, we will hold you to that. I'll be talking to my dude later on today. I want to talk to you a little bit more about this after the interview, man. But hit this man up, Politicize Official on Facebook, politicizerise.com for those pre-orders and whatnot. And of course, Instagram.com, Politicize Rise Music. Politicize, thank you so much, man. It has been a whole bunch
Thanks, brother. Great to be on here. Much love.
This has been another presentation from the Grey Wolf Entertainment Network, greywolfentertainment.net.